Nick shocks Sharon with unwanted news. Nick and Victoria are intercepted by fate at the worst possible moment. In today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Amanda shares some bad news to Victoria, while Alina's criticism of Imani irritates Nate and Billy consoles a distraught Amanda. Victoria confronts Billy at Newman Enterprises, demanding to know why he isn't in Los Angeles. Billy returned with the kids after learning of Ashlyn's death. For once, Lily understands. He assumes Victoria is too preoccupied with work to notice. She says she's quite okay despite her appearance. Billy suggests that if she is unable to share her emotions, at least she can explain what the hell occurred. Nick is the lone client at Crimson Lights, and he requests that Sharon lock the door so that he and Nick may have a private conversation. Indeed, she does. As a result of his father's comments about Ashlyn, Nick reveals he had a restless night. Everyone thinks he was killed in a vehicle accident, but the truth is he was killed by me. I was the one who ended Ashlyn Locke's life. Sharon, in disbelief, asks if he's positive Ashlyn died. Nick reveals that the body was relocated and placed in the ravine by Victor's group. Sharon isn't surprised by his father's reaction. Nick is frustrated by the situation he is in now. Sharon inquires if he has any remorse for the incident. Nick does not feel any sorrow for saving his sister's life, but he did not plan to kill Locke. Now, Victor is an accessory to the crime because of the rules he broke and the strings he pulled. With a sigh, he told Sharon, so now she is as well. She offers him comfort. I'm delighted you came to me. Nick lies and says, we never had this chat. Sharon inquires as to what he intends to do now that Victor has placed him in such a precarious position. Latest on Y&R's Nick Sharon. Nate and Devin talk about Billy's early return to Chancellor Winters. Nate expects him to help him stay on track. Devin agrees and tells Nate that he is one of the smartest people Devin knows. Nate admits that he made a scheduling mistake, explaining that he was attempting to make things easier for Devin. Since Devin assumes that in his previous position, he has had subordinates report to him, he acknowledges the novelty of his new position. Nate recognizes there will be a learning curve, but he is committed to excelling in his new role as COO. Devin is rooting for his success. Amanda walks in at that moment, tears in her eyes. Just now, she received a phone call informing her that Nea's doctor has declared her to be in a coma. Abby vents to Chance about his inquiry at society. Why Ashlyn should be questioned for losing control of his car is beyond her comprehension. The case appears to be cut and dried, as they say. For Luck to be successful, she must be comprehensive. Abby thinks there must be more to the story than he's let on, and he agrees. Abby notices that Chance seems preoccupied despite his assurances that everything is regular. She isn't willing to let it go, despite Chancey's reassurances. Upon entering, Kevin begins, "Hey Chance, I have a," before cutting himself off. The death of Ashlyn in a vehicle accident has Abby wondering if this has any bearing on the tragedy. When Chance and Kevin have finished their research, Chance will tell her everything. Y&R's Abby Chance. Victoria explains to Billy at Newman Enterprises that Ashlyn visited her home the night before he died and was completely out of it. She was alarmed when he grabbed her. At that point, Nicholas arrived. Between Ashlyn and me, he inserted himself. To Billy's dismay, he finds out that Nick punched Ashlyn, causing him to lose his balance and bang his head on the floor. No pulse was detected. They pronounced him dead. At least, that's what we were led to believe. As Victoria describes it, after stepping outside, they discovered his body was gone. The next thing they knew, they located his car in a ravine where he had apparently wrecked. He gave off a really menacing vibe, and Billy felt something was off. He warned Nick, but Nick warned him to stay out of it. In short order following that, Nick reportedly dropped by, as told by Victoria. "It's possible that you both saved my life thanks to him." Billy on Y&R, Victoria on BC. At Chancellor Winters, Nate and Devin console Amanda, as she sobs that she should not have left, and explains that Imani took the red eye out. She's afraid Naya won't come out of the coma and she'll never get to say goodbye. Nate tries to soothe her, and Devin inquires as to how he can help. Amanda must make a quick decision because she and Amani cannot leave work at the same time. Devin assures her that they are able to. Amanda objects, but the men persuade her that she and Amani can do their jobs from afar. Nate tells her to go show her affection for Naya. Amanda wants Nate to give her specific direction. He suggests they have a conversation and compile a special music for her. Amanda starts crying since she can't remember any of her favorite songs. The implication is that Amani will be informed. Calmly, Devin says, "Hold her hand." Amanda wants nothing more than to be with her. So Devin offers to send her on a private aircraft to go there. They kiss, and he gives her an enthusiastic embrace. Coma Y and R's Amanda Devin. Billy finds out at Newman Enterprises that the children are doing as well as can be expected, and Victoria reveals that being away from home with the children helped her to grieve. Ashlyn's death via vehicle crash, the same way he was born, seems poetic to Billy. He is really impressed with Victoria's poise under pressure. Victoria breaks down in tears as she expresses her gratitude for his care. As one, they share a passionate embrace. Sharon at Crimson Lights worries about Nick and his terrible situation. Nick thinks Victor was counting on him not to interrogate him. There was an accident, as Sharon points out. To which Nick responds, "It's still on me." Sharon agrees with Nick that what he did was correct. "You made the right choice. You were just defending yourself." Nick is sure there is more to this story, and he hopes Chance feels the same way. Nick says he was forthright and truthful with Chance, but the latter was still unsatisfied. Sharon reveals that he had also questioned her before. Nick is well aware that his father will be forced to make a tough choice because of his intransigence. Sharon says that he has only himself to blame. Nick didn't try to keep anything from the authorities. Nick chimes in, "Up till now." Outside in the park, Kevin reveals to Chance that he watched the surveillance tape from the gas station where Locke's rental car was seen. He replayed it many times, but there is no footage from when he would have been present. Chance suspects that it may have been tampered with. According to Kevin, it's highly suspect because the only places where Ashlyn could have been seen are the ones with blank spaces. He looked at footage from other street cameras and concluded that there may have been more than one person in Ashlyn's car later that evening. There were footprints and a half-smoked cigarette near the place where the automobile was said to have been parked. One of Victor's guys was smoking when we interviewed him, Chance recalled. The thought crosses his head, but he quickly tells himself that it is not evidence. Ashlyn was killed by a blow to the head, which might have been caused by falling and hitting his head or the car crash, as they discuss in the autopsy report. Kevin wonders if Chance is implying that Ashlyn's body was moved when he queries whether Ashlyn could have walked back to the car following the events at Victoria's house. Why would Nick and Victoria contact the police and then transfer the body, he wonders. To Kevin Chance at Y&R Park. Alina walks into a contemplative Nate at Chancellor Winters and inquires about the status of canceling her contract with Newman Media. She learns that Amanda and Amani's mother has fallen into a coma from his explanation. Obviously, this is not good news. Although he understands their need for an indefinite leave of absence, he will miss working with Amanda and Amani, who have been invaluable to him in the Devon matter, and are both highly skilled attorneys. Are you suggesting she's been fueling the animosity between you and Devon? Alina asks. Y&R Nate Alina. Victoria welcomes Nick to Newman Enterprises, where she and Billy work, and reveals that she has been completely honest with her ex-boyfriend. Bill wants to honor Nick with an award for everything he's done, and Nick says he's sorry he ignored his earlier warnings. After Billy has left, Nick embraces Victoria, who informs him that she and the children will be remaining at the ranch. Nick inquires if she has communicated with Victor. Have you heard anything else from him regarding that evening? Bewildered, Victoria replies no, and then asks whether there's something she's missing. Abby and Chelsea talk about the food, Dom, and Connor at Society. She's in a terrific place now, Chelsea says, and she's taken some big risks. When Billy enters, he inquires of Abby whether or not Chance is looking into the death of Ashlyn Locke. As far as Abby is concerned, he is. The subject of Billy's investigation piques his curiosity. While at the park, Chance and Kevin discuss the enigma of Ashlyn. How did the ring become lost if he stood up and left? Kevin speculates that he may have lost it due to an accident on the way out. Nick's act of bringing him the ring doesn't imply that he is hiding anything from him. Nick admits to Victoria at Newman Enterprises that he punched Ashlyn to death and that she has a right to know the truth. Victoria inquires as to how he came to be driving in the ravine. Nick sneers that Victor's men carried out his instructions by removing his body from the house, placing it in a car, and staging the scene so that it appeared as though the blow to the head occurred in an accident. "Oh my God, Nicholas," Victoria sighs. Nick explains that he admitted to it out of concern that no one would take his claim of self-defense seriously. After considering the situation, Victoria reflects, perhaps Dad did the right thing. Amanda tells Devin her worries about losing Naya, and the two of them cry on the patio at Crimson Lights. Devin tells her she doesn't have to go on alone and offers to tag along. She appreciates his help, but she will be fine whatever. Now that she has her sister, the two of them can support and aid one another through this difficult time. If Devin changes her mind, she will immediately stop whatever she is doing. Every second that Amanda is separated from him is a moment of sadness. In this scene, they share a passionate kiss. Nate tells Alina at Chancellor Winters that blaming Imani for his problems with Devin is foolish. Alina maintains that it can't be helping matters if the woman was whispering in his ear that he's right and Devin's wrong. According to Nate, her tone suggests that she couldn't give a hoot about her predicament. Nothing else matters but getting her and Amanda through this safely and quickly. Abby informs Billy in society that Chance doesn't let her in on the specifics of his cases. At their morning meeting, Chelsea tells him that they need to create a show that would keep their viewers interested and engaged. Abby gives them drinks while they discuss how well their first collaborative podcast did. Chelsea is overjoyed by her new job with Billy and says it couldn't have come at a better moment. Abby gives her uncle a sidelong glance before walking away. The Y and R cast: Abby, Billy, and Chelsea. Nick is furious with Newman Enterprises while his sister, Victoria, defends their father's decision to act secretly against their wishes. Consider all the possible outcomes. There are a million of them. The situation gets even worse if they lie to the police. Likewise, Victoria feels the same way. They are helping to conceal the truth. When Chance knocks on the door, she is about to go talk to their dad. She eventually inquires, "How long have you been standing there?" He claims to have arrived there only then and inquires, "Why do you appear so upset?"